A government proposal to increase withholding tax on interest income from government securities from 15% to 20% has triggered mixed reactions from stakeholders, with some welcoming it as a progressive move, while others caution it could undermine investor confidence. The measure was among several revenue-enhancing interventions announced by Finance and National Planning Minister Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane last week as he presented a supplementary budget to Parliament aimed at plugging fiscal gaps and supporting ongoing economic reforms. Dr. Msokotwane defended the tax adjustment as a necessary step to ensure equity in tax system and to raise domestic revenue without overburdening consumption-based taxes. The Centre for Trade Policy and Development has backed the proposal, describing it as a forward-looking measure that will help broaden Zambia's tax base.
This is a move that we advocate for, and we feel by having such progressive taxation tax system, we may be actually going into a direction where we are going to see a lot of relief being given to the formerly employed, where they begin also to contribute a fair share of their taxes, and we ensure that even the high net worth individuals also contribute a fair share of their taxes.
But not all experts are convinced of the benefits. Economic analyst Kelvin Chisanga warns that the increased tax burden on interest income could significantly reduce net returns for both foreign and institutional investors.
So what we see basically interplaying here is that the net return for most of the investors, both local and international, will be able to have some sort of like censure around some of these investment pattern way before they undertake them. So what we see is a situation where it's now raising a number of key fundamental conditions that we should be able to see. And what we'll be able to see going forward is that we have less appetite toward driving that 14.8 billion, which we need to realize through domestic contraction.
Echoing similar concerns, Economic Association of Zambia President Oswald Mungule points out that the tax hike could make government securities less attractive to investors.
This means that higher withholding tax is likely to reduce the net return on government securities, making them less attractive to both domestic and foreign investors. This could, one, lower demand for government bonds and treasury bills, and two, increase the cost of borrowing for the government if it needs to offer higher yields to attract investors. The next potential negative effect is the capital flight risk. Here, investors may shift their portfolios from countries with more favorable tax regimes.
As the country continues its post-debt restructuring recovery, policymakers face the delicate balancing act of raising domestic revenues while maintaining investor confidence in the country's financial markets. Rachel Mumba for Diamond News.